Summer has finally arrived. There's some light out yonder window. Hence the wonderful shirt. Summer silly shirts. Anyway, hello. Back again. This weekend is all about friends. I went to a friend's house and there was a gathering of some people I've only really just met recently. And I offered to do the cooking because I love it. And hopefully they did. So what I did this weekend is a couple of curries which are right at the top of my repertoire. Well, I'm quite good at them. So I did a saag paneer, which I might post another day. And the one I'm going to post here is a very rich but simple lamb curry on the bone, using mutton rather than spring lamb, because spring lamb would just end up as a meat soup. So, watch. It's going to be easy, but it's going to take a long time. In fact, start the night before. Keep poking this. Oh well, technology. So what do we have today on the board of goodness? Lamb curry. Lamb. Well, mutton. Definitely don't use spring lamb. This will melt into a meat soup. Loads here because I've got friends I'm cooking for. Onions, the staple of almost every curry. I think I used 3. Got a good big thumb of ginger. Loads of garlics. I think I used about 6 cloves. Love garlic. You know I love garlic if you listen to any of the others. Some potatoes. Sort of baby potatoes this time because I'm going to throw them in whole at the start. And some dried chillies. Rather than chilli powder. Kashmiri chilies as well. It's quite mild. And then the spice tin of goodness. There are many things which we'll be adding as this recipe goes on. And I'm going to do it in my big casserole dish. And it's going to take a very, 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 very long time. Aha! Forgot the ghee. You can use other oils, but I do love ghee in certain dishes. Adds a certain woo. And the first long stage of a long process. Onions. Get it in there. Caramelise them. It will take about 50 minutes. This particular one I'm going to be adding 2 dried chilies and a piece of cinnamon bark, about that long. So don't want full-on, full-throated cinnamon. I want that to nicely seep into the juices and the soupy mixture that it'll appear as at the end. Right, while the onions are going, get on with your spices. Now I love a good pestle and mortar, so I can give it large as I'm cooking. You may not. So in which case you want clove powder, cardamom powder and coriander powder. I've used these as seeds and then just got in there. But yeah, look for powder. Easy. The eagle eye of the amongst you will notice that I'm not in the grocery anymore. I'm off into a frying pan. Well, yes, I remembered a few minutes into cooking the onions. If you're cooking for a long time, a casserole dish is probably not the best way because it burns. Anyway, in the frying pan, stirry, and I'm now going to add the ginger and the ground ginger and chopped up garlic. Anyway. Bzzz. Now, just over an hour into the journey, our onions and garlic and ginger are as brown as a very brown thing. It's going to smell heavenly. It's going to smell even more heavenly now because you're going to pour the spices in, a tiddly bit of water and cook them for a wee bit longer. The return of the casserole dish. Bit useless for the onions, really good for the meat. Throw the meat in, decent heat, start turning the meat over and over again so you can brown it. This amount of meat, it's going to take a while. Do we need seared meat? That's a good question, isn't it, when you brown something before you start adding soupy mixture to it. In this case, no. All I'm doing is cooking the outside of the meat to give it a head start, so you're not looking at red meat all the time. It's just starting to go brown before we put all the rest of the stuff in. Now, good stir, slightly brown. We're going to add the spices and onions and everything, and another really good stir. Do you have a crossword, crochet, knitting, jigsaw puzzle, other such thing that's going to take a long time? Because now we're settling in for the long haul. So the first half an hour, this picture below is what it should look like in that first half an hour. And then you're going to put the lid on and put it to bed, and that's going to be at least 2 hours. Be patient until it starts to look like this. Brown and beauty. Right, where are we now? About 3 hours into the cooking cycle. 1 hour for the onions and stuff, 2 hours for the meat. So far we're going to get on to the potatoes now. So I'm going to use the baby potatoes. I'm going to keep them whole because they're lovely little baby potatoes. We're getting a little knife and start putting nicks in the skin and nicks into the flesh of the potato. Not too deep, but just enough. So it's going to suck in that moisture for the next hour or so. Off you go. And it's finished. Well, I say finished. This is the first part. As I said, I think at the start of the video, this one is much better left overnight. But if you can't wait, this is what it looks like when you want to start munching into it. Those potatoes still look whole, but they're not. They're sort of soft and mushy and ready to melt on your fork. Serve, I wouldn't serve it with rice because there's bones in it. I would serve this with chapatis, roti or naan. But it's an absolute glorious dish with a depth of flavour. I mean, the cloves and the coriander on their own just, oh, it's a really thick and taste. But anyway, thank you for watching. My friends seem to have really liked it, so it was a success. Please come back again, tell your friends, share the video, like and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff, and on to next time. Bye then.